Welcome to Midnight True Tales, where true stories are stranger than fiction. Turn off the lights, and now let's begin. Leela had performed at dozens of weddings before. Luxury hotels, private estates, rooftop ceremonies overlooking the city skyline. Strange guests never bothered her anymore. The greeting she received that winter night felt different from the moment she opened the message. There were no names attached to it, no company details, no wedding planner, just a short message, with a time, an address far outside the city, and a payment amount so high it immediately caught her attention. Almost too high. At first, she thought it might be fake, but the money arrived in advance. Every cent of it. So despite the uneasy feeling growing in her stomach, she accepted the job. The drive took longer than expected. The road slowly emptied until there were barely any lights left around them. Only dark trees, fog, and silence. Her driver barely spoke during the trip. Even he seemed uncomfortable the farther they traveled. Then finally, they saw it. A massive building standing alone in the darkness. Warm golden lights glowed from its windows. Music echoed faintly somewhere inside. At first glance it looked beautiful, elegant, expensive, but something immediately felt wrong. There were no cars outside, no valet, no guests arriving, no voices in the parking area, just complete silence surrounding the building, while music played somewhere deep inside it. Leela hesitated before stepping out of the car. For a moment she considered leaving, but then the front doors slowly opened on their own, and someone inside motioned for her to enter. The wedding hall was enormous. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Long tables were covered in gold decorations and flowers. Dozens of guests filled the room, and yet the entire atmosphere felt strangely empty. No one was laughing loudly. No one was talking over each other. The guests simply sat there quietly, staring toward the stage, waiting. At the center of the room stood the bride, completely still beneath a long white veil. Leela forced herself to smile and prepared for the performance. So the music began, and she started singing. At first, everything seemed normal, but after a few minutes, Leela noticed something that made her voice nearly falter. No one was eating. Not a single guest touched the food placed in front of them. No one drank anything either. They simply watched her. Every single one of them. And when she moved across the stage, their heads slowly turned together, perfectly together, as if they were connected somehow. Leela felt cold all over. Still, she kept singing, trying not to panic. Then the bride moved. Slowly, she lifted her head. The entire room became silent. Leela's singing stopped completely. The bride raised one pale hand and pulled back the veil, and underneath it there was no face, no eyes, no mouth, no skin, only darkness, a deep purple, black emptiness where a human face should have been. And somehow, it was smiling. Leela stumbled backward in horror. The guests around the room began standing up at the exact same time. Not naturally, not like people, more like puppets remembering how to move. Their chairs scraped against the floor together in one awful sound. Leela screamed for the band to stop playing, but the music didn't stop. The instruments continued on their own. Piano keys pressed themselves. Strings moved without hands touching them. The wedding melody became distorted, slower, deeper. Wrong. Purple shadows spread across the walls like smoke crawling through the room. Leela ran. She ran through the backstage hallway searching desperately for an exit. But every corridor looked identical. Every door led somewhere impossible. One hallway stretched longer every time she looked at it. Another led her right back to the stage she had escaped from moments earlier. The music followed her everywhere. Loud, echoing, warped. Behind her footsteps continued slowly, never rushing, never stopping. Then suddenly, everything went silent. No music, no footsteps, nothing. Leela found herself standing alone in a dark hallway. The lights above flickered weakly, one by one, until only darkness remained. And then, she saw the bride standing at the far end of the corridor, still faceless, still smiling, waiting. The next thing Leela remembered was waking up outside in the freezing morning air. She was lying on the ground near the edge of an abandoned property. Her body hurt, her throat burned, and the building behind her was gone. Or at least, not the same building. In daylight, it looked abandoned for decades. Broken windows, collapsed walls, rotting wood. No signs of a wedding, no decorations, no people, nothing. The only thing still in Lila's hand was her microphone, but it was rusted, old, as if it had been buried for years. Layla never accepted another late-night booking again, and to this day she still refuses to sing wedding songs, because sometimes late at night, when the world becomes completely silent, she still hears music playing somewhere far away, and sometimes she swears she can hear guests clapping along with it. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed tonight's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. We upload every Monday and Thursday. Until then, stay safe, and I will meet you again